Heyo, how are we doing, everybody? Oop. There we go. What is going on, everyone? Hope everyone is having a beautiful Friday evening, morning, afternoon, or if it is already went over to Saturday, aren't you lucky? What is going on, everyone? Hope you're having a good time, sending you that spirit bomb energy as always. And today we got a little bit of a special stream because I finished Record of Ragnarok, or Shuumatsu no Valkyrie, I believe is the actual correct name. But I really enjoyed this manga. I wanted to share some of my thoughts, some of my opinions on that. I know a lot of you guys read it as well, so I'm more than happy to go through that and talk to you guys about it. I see some people are anime only, some people are manga, stuff like that. Honestly, this is one of the most fun series in the entire world, and I have to recommend reading the manga from beginning to end, because that's what I did. I started the manga a long time ago, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. At that point, there was pretty much only Lubu, Adam Zeus, Kojiro vs. Poseidon, and Jack the Ripper, and then Raiden. And then I was like about halfway through Buddha vs. Zerofuku, and then I kind of fell off. But since then, there was 4 more fights on top of that, and the 11th round of Ragnarok has just began with only 1 chapter. Not even really fighting has begun, but I'm surprised to hear how many people are anime only. I didn't know a lot of people watch the anime like that, because when the anime first came out, you know, a lot of people were you know, dragging the animation and stuff like that, because the manga genuinely does have amazing art. I'll be showing a lot of the art because I was taking pictures and screenshots over the course of reading the series. I kind of always do that, you know, take a picture of just like really cool artworks. So I'll be showing a lot of that as we go through the series and the fights, because I want to talk about every single fight, get my thoughts out, and then we'll put them on a rank S, A, B, C, D. Honestly, I don't think there's any bad fights in the series, so I doubt any of them will get as low as D. Animation isn't even bad. I mean, the Adam and Zeus fight being like a PowerPoint presentation was a little crazy, but I didn't watch the 2nd season, so I really don't know. I don't want to turn this into an anime was terrible situation. Like, we're long years past that. I've gotten over it. But I generally do think the manga is also a great adaptation of the series, and I highly recommend reading it as well, because the art is just as amazing and the story goes well with the art. I read a book on Nostradamus' prediction, and 2028 will be the year that we discover the Philosopher's Stone. Fingers crossed, I hope so. Same, I didn't even know that fight got animated already. Yeah, I know season 2 went all the way up to Buddha and Zerofuku. So none of the other fights have gone on yet in the anime yet, but still, we will talk about that. Oh, have I seen 1,000 Year Blood War Core 3? I just finished it, and the Almighty is such bullshit, and Kubo is a hack. I love 1,000 Year Blood War. I read the manga when it was going weekly, actually a long time ago. And without spoiling anything, if anyone's not a Bleach fan, the Almighty, while being an absolutely insane ability, I mean, I can't even deny it. It really is a ridiculous ability, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Kind of bummed they cut Jesus from the show. Jesus is well, Jesus is in the manga. He's just not a fighter. But I'm pretty sure the actual Jesus himself does appear. I don't remember who does he appear for? Is it Buddha? They must have cut him from the anime, I guess, which is crazy because they got so much flack for showing Shiva. They got a lot of flack for showing Shiva in a fight, yet they couldn't pull the trigger on showing Jesus, which is crazy. At least stick to your guns completely. Don't you know, go all out on one and pussy out on the other. Watch Blue Lock Season 2 and 3D Berserk. Record of Ragnarok's animation doesn't faze me. Again, I haven't seen Season 2. I've only watched Season 1. But yeah, like I said, the Adam and Zeus fight is the biggest thing. Where do I read the manga? Genuinely, I just use manga decks for a lot of things, but always support the official release. Always, always, always support the official release as best you can. Manga decks does link to the official release as well, so if you can support the official release, please go ahead. But yeah, like I said, I'll be putting a couple panels on screen just to go forth and everything. I don't watch the show, but I will for when the Tesla fight comes around. Yeah, we'll get into a lot of the fights. But if you're unfamiliar with Record of Ragnarok as a whole, you don't really know too much about it, and you're just here for the funsies. Season 2 is for the most part pretty good. Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen season 2, so I don't know too much about it. You invited to my cookout, thanks. Hey, we love that. That's all I ever wanted. Okay, so long story short, gods are fed up with humanity. They want to kill everybody, destroy everything. And the Valkyries, in the last-ditch effort of defense for humanity, decide that they are going to enact Ragnarok, where there's going to be 13 humanity warriors going up against 13 god warriors, and they're going to fight to the death. The winner of best out of 13, obviously, you know, gets to decide who's going to live. If humanity wins, they get to survive another 1,000 years. If the gods win, humanity's cooked. Brief introduction, you really don't need much to know about that. So we have the best possible candidates for the humanity side going up against the best possible candidates for the god side. I'm going to go through every single fight as I, possibly can. Best I possibly can. Try to go over every single notes and go over some of the awesome, panels that are in each fight. And I'll have you guys as well by my side to help me through it if I forget anything. I want to give every fight the benefit of the doubt. Again, I genuinely do not believe that there are any bad fights in Record of Ragnarok. So if I give any criticism or if I don't seem as enthusiastic about some fights, it's not because it's a bad fight. It's generally just because, maybe I didn't fuck with it. Some characters are more relatable than other characters. That will always be the case, right? Everyone's got their own cup of tea. Everyone's got their own opinion. It's like assholes, right? We all heard that when we were kids. Happy Friday. Enjoy your stream. Hey, my boy. I might pop in later. Later for sure. I don't know if Amanda will be asleep or not, but if we're doing another Friday call, I'm down. Thor was so cool in this fight. Anything below B is blasphemy. We'll go into Thor versus Lubu in a second. I'm looking for the pictures I have of Thor versus Lubu. I think I went too far in my history. That's Adam versus Zeus. Damn, did I not take anything of Thor versus Lubu? That fight just didn't move me. I'm just kidding. But that's fine. We're fumbling already. What do people even watch me for? Anyway, we'll just use Google. So very first fight that we're going to discuss here is going to be Thor versus Lubu. And if you are not familiar with Lubu, Lubu is here, I'm going to give you a brief understanding. Who is Lubu? Let's see what Google has to say about Lubu. Google AI's got nothing to say? Great. Was a Chinese military general, politician, and warlord who lived during the late Eastern Han Dynasty. They buff Lubu up as well. So they give every human what's called a Voland, which is basically a connection with a Valkyrie, which allows them to fight on the gods. Lubu is basically this badass Chinese warlord who, from the day he was born, was able to take on fucking bears. Like, this man, here, let me change the view so you can see. This man, as a kid, is fighting fucking bears. this man is then taking down every single enemy that he goes up against, and there's not a single person that he can lose to. He actually ends up being so bored that he ends up getting captured by the enemy army just because there's nothing good for him. There's never any enemies that will be ever able to stand up to Lubu because he's that fucking strong. And eventually he learns to cut the fucking sky itself in two. And then at that point he's like, I'm too good. I'm gonna cook every single person I fight up against. And of course we have Thor. Thor is, you know, the god of fucking thunder, but unlike Marvel, he's not really funny. He's more just bloody and fucking deadly. Like, Thor is genuinely one of the coldest fucking gods of all time, especially in Ragnarok, right? Especially in Ragnarok. Because the fact that in these fights that they have, they also go through small little backstories of everybody, right? So we see Lubu's backstory, which, like I said, he's able to fight bears as a child. He does all of that crazy stuff early on. But you also have Thor's backstory, which it's so funny to me that Thor's backstory is almost definitely like a reference to Attack on Titan, but also at the same time real mythology. With the Jormungandr deer, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, attacking Asgard, and then he's the only one that's able to save them. And they have this cold panel of Thor killing all of the fucking giants himself, and like it's like in a battlefield of death, Thor alone was bored. It's fucking crazy. Like, genuinely forgot how dope Record of Ragnarok could be. I'm trying to find these fucking panels. I should have looked beforehand. I'm a fool. Aha, I found some of them. You can't hide them from me. I want to show my best and my favorite panels from each fight because there's genuinely so much great art. I have to show it. Otherwise, this is null and void. Here. What up, Alana? How we doing? I said, hi, Nightbot. Gotta give Nightbot love. I constantly think about how giants are human angel hybrids and Odin hates them, IRL lore. All right. Yes. We'll show these. So we've got right here, as everyone else was dropping dead around him, Thor alone was bored. Like, fucking fire artwork. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can make this I can make this bigger. Perfect. Like, the mangaka of this work goes hard. And this is also the moment when Thor does his crazy fucking that's kind of the things that they do for the myth and the lores of everything, and how the author changes the myths to make them more suited for a battle shonen like this. It's not necessarily a shonen, I shouldn't say that maybe, but still, like, Thor is not just a fucking badass that is just a fucking battle-hardened psychopathic not maniac, but sociopathic, I should say. Sociopathic fucking warrior that's able to just kill giants without a second thought and just be bored because no one is able to match him. It's why Thor and Lubu are the perfect match, because they're two characters that were never able to find the perfect rival in their own time period. Whereas now that they are able to be put in this Ragnarok and fight each other, for once they're able to meet a rival that can match them. So when Thor does his Thor's hammer move and drops it, and Lubu is able to not only counter that, but once Thor Mjolnir wakes up and reveals itself to be a living being, and Thor only uses his electric gloves to just keep Mjolnir asleep during battle. Once Mjolnir wakes up, he throws the fucking hammer, and it's just crazy shit, right? And Lubu dodges it again, and then you have this moment here where, again, this is the first match of the tournament. And in that moment, all of humanity shuddered. For the first time in history, for the first time in human existence, humanity had surpassed their creators, which is just fucking intense. They give Lubu an awesome amount of glaze. Like I said, they let this man, they tell this man that he cut through the sky. You know, he's got Sky Eater, and then you've got Thor dropping down his Thor's hammer. The final fucking clash of two characters that were never able to meet a match for themselves, a fighter that was worth their time, and they were actually able to meet it in this once-in-a-lifetime chance of a tournament. And when I first read this fight, the first time I read it a long time ago, it didn't move me as much. I didn't think Lubu was as fun. But reading it again recently, you really do feel how much Lubu's army loves him. All of the humans have, you know, their allies and everything like that alongside them in the stands and the rows, cheering them on. And also adds to their backstory and everything. And the fact that Thor, even though Lubu loses, also there's the moment where Lubu like basically becomes one with his horse because his legs break under the weight. I think it happens right after this, right? Where he endures Thor's attack, and then his legs literally just like break, like his ankles just shatter, and Lubu can't stand anymore, but he's still willing to fight, so he joins with his horse. I have more panels for the rest of the fights. I wasn't taking as many screenshots in the very early beginning of the series. And then for this final clash, they both use their strongest move against one another. And unfortunately, Lubu does lose. His arms literally shatter next. He's not able to take the full, power of Thor's hammer. And yeesh, unfortunately, Lubu does meet his end. But it's still a very good opening fight. And again, the dynamic between these two characters that were, as the opener to Ragnarok, two characters that weren't ever able to meet a match in there, I say lifetime for Lubu, and I say Thor being a god, he's basically immortal. Thor is never able to meet someone on the battlefield. That at least he was able to fight on the battlefield, right? Thor can't just go around and start fighting other gods and stuff like that. So it's a very great opening battle, and it really sets the tone for what some of the fights are to come, and what some of these personalities, how they will clash. Especially right now when the gods are cocky, the gods really don't. They think this whole thing is a joke. They think everything is fucking ridiculous. They can't believe that the Valkyries and humanity would even try to step up against the gods. To see Lubu actually stand up against Thor, and Thor actually respect Lubu at the end of this. To even later on in the story, we see Thor stop Odin's plan, or not stop Odin from fighting other gods and causing a problem in Ragnarok, because Thor wants to honor all of the warriors that died in battle, at least to finish the tournament. Who am I rooting for? Humanity or the gods? Honestly, the gods got good points. Maybe they're right. Absolutely not. No, especially with now that we know everything with the primordial gods and everything like that, and what the main plan is, hopefully, to go if humanity ends up getting destroyed. Fuck the gods. I would never have stood with the gods anyway. Stand with humanity every day, all day. Oh, for all of our flaws, we deserve to live, God damn it. I'll always stand against my creator. That's just a personal thing. But yeah, so for Thor and Lubu, I would never give it an S tier. I think there are much better fights that stand aside it, but for a great opener, I've got to give Thor vs. Lubu an A. Just gotta give it an A, to be completely honest with you. I can't do I can't do anything less. I can't do anything more. while you say B, I think there are other fights that we will see are much better suited for B category as we go further on into the series. Just put Adam and Zeus in S already. Listen, all right, yeah, you right. Honestly, you're very right. I can't hide. I can't hide it. There's no point to hiding it. Absolutely no point to hiding it. Adam and Zeus is indeed an S. Adam and Zeus is one of the greatest fights in the entire series, and it's only the second one that shows up, which isn't to say anything bad about Record of Ragnarok, that the second fight is one of the best fights, but it just shows how good Zeus versus Adam truly fucking is, because it really is one of the greatest, one of the coolest, shortest. It's short. It's very short, but it is such a cool and fun fight. It is such a cool and fun fight. I'm just uploading the panels that I have. Again, I don't have as many of this one either, but there's still some great fucking art. So obviously, Adam, the very first human, you know, according to Christianity lore, you know, the very first human and man that God created was chosen to be a fighter against Zeus, who is basically the father of the cosmos, the grandfather of gods, basically, you know, one of the top dogs in all of Valhalla and all of the gods. And Adam has the special ability that's one of the coolest fucking things in the entire fucking world, and it's known as Eyes of the Lord. And now what Eyes of the Lord does, let's see if I can get a good picture of Adam's eyes here. Right here, right? Hold on. Ooh, music stopped. Eyes of the Lord basically is basically Sharingan. Basically Sharingan. Adam can literally just copy whatever ability he sees, even if it's from the gods themselves. And these can be physical abilities as well. So almost like how Sasuke just copies Rock Lee's Primary Lotus and turns it into the Lion's Barrage. Literally, that is Adam's core fucking philosophy. That's his whole fucking power. His Volund, his synchronization with the Valkyries is literally just fucking knuckles, brass knuckles, probably stronger than brass knuckles, divine knuckles, we'll call them, as you can see in this picture. And every fucking move and attack that Zeus does, not only is Adam able to dodge, Adam is able to completely copy it to a T. Completely copy it to a T. The fight literally does eventually devolve into this ginormous fucking battle of the, again, Godfather of gods going up against the very first fucking man there ever was, again, according to Christianity. We good, gang? Everything going well with stream? We didn't lose power, did we? Not lose power, but we didn't lose we're not lagging or anything. Lag. It is lagging. What are we doing? Are we good now? It was laggy. Are we good now? I don't want to go crazy if we're lagging. We're good now? Okay, sick. So, to fruitfulize as an awesome point, you know, Adam saying does a father need a reason to fight for his children is also a great move. I cannot believe I didn't save that panel, but Zeus literally goes all out in this fight. And again, this is supposed to be one of the strongest gods that there ever is. He beat, you know, his father Cronus. He fought in the Gigantomachy. He fought in the Titanomachy. Like, he is leagues above most other gods besides the remaining primordial gods that we find out about later, right? Zeus literally pulls out all the stops. The one thing I'm surprised they didn't give Zeus is they didn't give him like lightning. They gave him time stop, which I think is an interesting philosophy and an interesting ability to give Zeus that's definitely different, right? Most people, I think, would probably give Zeus lightning as an easy cop-out, but instead they gave Zeus the kind of similar to what Adam did, where Zeus fought his father, was able to beat his father, and through beating his father was able to unlock the ability of time stop. And when Zeus uses time stop, Adam literally copies it mid-thing, like pulls a Jotaro and goes, oh, this is a cool ability, and then fucking punches Zeus mid-time stop. Zeus has no choice but to completely transform into what he calls his diamond form, the Adamus form. And this is the skinny form we see, because before, Zeus is just this twisted, contorted, deformed, muscular fucking beast. Probably because Thor had it, didn't want to run it back twice in a row. That's completely true. Completely a good point. That's probably what it ended up being. But it just evolves into this fucking punching barrage. And as you see, we have Loki here who's showing that it all just comes down to whoever gives out first. Is Zeus's Adamus form going to cause his body to completely give out first? Or is Adam's human body going to die from the amount of stress he's putting in his eyes of the Lord? And they literally fight for a huge amount of time. It's such a significant fight that it completely changes the tone of the rest of Record of Ragnarok because of how far Adam goes to fight and how much Adam inspires his children. The fact that even though, because when Lubu lost, things were tough. We didn't feel we didn't feel great. Morale was not high. However, Adam, despite losing, was still able to give humanity enough hope that we came close so many goddamn fucking times. We might be able to win. We might be able to have a chance here. And even though Adam loses, he's the he's the star shining from this fight. He is the MVP for sure. But still, Adam versus Zeus is definitely an S rank fight. I don't know if that is just a cop-out and easy to say, but it's just true. It is one of the best fights in the series and really does give you an awesome idea for where everything is going to go going forward. Especially when you have the characters' backstories that directly tie into the fight. And sometimes I feel like you can really tell who might win a fight depending on who like gains the most aura from their backstory. Which isn't always true. Isn't always true. But sometimes it is. You got to feel the momentum, but the best fights are when the momentum shifts back and forth. In this one, it was mostly just an uphill battle, but Adam still surprised everybody. Adam being willing to eat the apple of Eden, eat the forbidden fruit, because they were willing to cast Eve out for, frame Eve for eating it. Adam showing that he has defied the gods even in his original life, and now he will defy the gods in this fight to fight. And Zeus is like, why do you fight this hard? And Adam does the awesome scene where, does a father really need any reason to, protect his children? Peak fiction right there. What up, King Kamui? Peak fiction right there. Wish Adam wasn't killed so early. He's the most interesting human to me. He really was so fun. And as someone said it earlier, like, if Adam fought anybody else, he definitely would have won. But he went up against literally the #1 god from the very beginning. So it's reasonable to assume why. Reasonable to assume why he lost. But the fact that he put up such a good fight against the toppest tier of God is exactly why it inspired everybody to believe in the next participant in the next battle that we have, and which was Sasaki Kojiro versus Poseidon. which is another fight, just like Lubu, that I didn't remember liking the first time I read Record of Ragnarok. But honestly, reading it again, I was like, you know what? That was pretty gas. While I think Poseidon is, as gods go, a little bland personally, I understand what we were going for, right? I understand that Poseidon was meant to be just this indomitable god that has never once been trampled upon, never once been stood up against. And he just represents this emotionless, fucking careless, the exact kind of visualization you would depict when you think of an apathetic god that truly does not give a fuck about whether his humans die or not. Low key, this manga fell off. I completely, as someone that just binged all up to almost 100 chapters, I will tell you genuinely, I loved every minute of it. I don't know. You could definitely say that some fights aren't as strong as others. But like the most recent fight with Okita, which I'll get into later, was like, honestly, in my opinion, one of the most fun fights. But again, like I said, I completely understand that. I fell off with it during the Zero Fuku versus Buddha fight because I was kind of bored, and I'll have some strong opinions about that fight for sure. But I definitely think, as I just read the 100 chapters over the course of like, you know, maybe like a week or two. And I loved every minute of it. Like I said, there were some fights that were a little lackluster, but we'll get into it. So anyway, Sasaki Kojiro versus Poseidon is actually, like I said, rereading it, a very, very fun fight for me because he represents the kind of cocky, ignorant god that humans need to conquer and defeat in order to ensure their survival. And of all people, Sasaki Kojiro is one of the best people to do it. The world's greatest loser. I love Sasaki Kojiro's whole entire idea. I love his whole character. The mental battle, the mental training, because not too many series go into the whole aspect of mental training. It's something that I even remember learning about as a kid, funnily enough, in a Naruto game, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Battle or something like that. I don't even remember what it was. It might just be Naruto Ultimate Ninja. Before Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. Yes, that's what it is. Before Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. Real ones that are fucking old and pay taxes now know about Naruto Ultimate Ninja, okay? When it was fucking 2D, not 3D, all right? But anyway, there was a mission that was mental training, and like it's all about warriors imagining situations and just fighting in their mind. And Sasaki Kojiro is literally the whole entire aspect of that, of someone that fights someone that's way too strong and then spends years of their life training and mentally fighting that person until they surpass them. And Sasaki goes back to his original dojo, is able to surpass everyone in it, watches the master now in this in this artwork, give him the best display of his possible, power, and then Sasaki surpasses him again. And what are we doing? And then Poseidon, who is just, again, this indomitable force, whose backstory isn't as deep. Again, he's Poseidon. He's the god of the ocean. He's a Greek god. He's the younger brother to Zeus, the second in command, many people like to assume. And his backstory involves killing his brother, and he won't even look his brother in the eyes because he basically doesn't respect him. And you can see the fight constantly compares Poseidon to just a deep fucking abyss of an ocean. And every time Poseidon unleashes these new moves, like Amphitrite, where he's just constantly fucking pushing his fucking spear and trident at Sasaki. And Sasaki Kojiro is doing the mental gymnastics of thinking of every possible way, and basically like the funny meme of like downloading your fighting game opponent and like, I already downloaded your move, I know what you're gonna do, I predicted it, I've adapted. Like, Sasaki is literally that opponent. So 1,000 image defense, he's able to foresee all of Poseidon's strikes, not like Adam is, where, you know, Adam's copying everything, but Sasaki literally fights Poseidon in his mind so many times he's able to perceive the correct possible movement to fight through every single attack. And it's in this moment here where Sasaki says that Poseidon has a pretty sad existence and looks down upon Poseidon, and you can see how this once stoic, this once very composed, not even willing to look Sasaki in the eye, you know, just condescending god gets a nerve struck by this, that he would look down on the gods like this, and pisses Poseidon off. And then you've got divine lightning, which is literally just more fast speed, fucking pure fucking trident, you know, downfall. And this is what I mean where I say that the anime is, you know, the anime, I'm glad that a lot of people do fuck with the anime. That makes me happy, because I didn't think it didn't have an audience like that. Like I said, I stopped watching after season 1, so that's awesome. But like the anime, the manga art is fucking awesome. We can all agree on that, right? Sasaki changing his fucking grip mid fucking battle. Like, Sasaki was the perfect human to face Poseidon and get humanity's very first win. Humanity's greatest loser, who became even stronger even in death. His peak is his oldest form, right? Kojiro, in almost every source of fiction he's in, is a god when it comes to the blade. I fucking love that. When Kojiro... excuse me. When he has this fucking sword broken and just uses it to fucking create 2 swords after mimicking and defeating in his mind his final opponent that killed him and he died in battle against. That's no imitation. We truly have been melded into his soul. A gathering of various swordsmen through years of cultivation, his Ganryu has finally touched the heavens. That is what it means to be unparalleled under the heavens. That is the true strength behind Sasaki Kojiro's Nito Ganryu. Inspiring even more fucking humans than ever, and even still going up against Poseidon, finally getting Poseidon to fucking crack a smile. You could see he cuts fucking Poseidon, actually makes a god draw blood. What up, Tiberius? What up, what up, lover? What up, hentai lover? Your name just made me laugh. I'm sorry. I don't mean that and like I'm laughing at you. It was just like, it just was a chuckle. Sasaki versus Susanoo could be lit. I want to do a stream where I do a randomizer wheel and switch up some matchups, because I would love to talk about some of these. No, Lord Rimuru, we're not laughing at anybody. Yeah, there we go. JK. We're nice here. We don't laugh at anybody. The 40-day flood, like, listen, Sasaki Kojiro versus Poseidon is a great fight. I'm honestly, don't make fun of me depending on how many A's or S's I give, but like, I would definitely put this in A tier. I'd put this above the Lubu and Thor fight. It is a really good fight. I don't know if I'd put it in S though. It's high A. Would I put it in S? I don't know. It's high A for right now. We'll see what other fights come in. For sure, we have to. But yeah, it is genuinely a good first win for humanity. A good first fucking win for humanity. And that being said, In my opinion, rounds 3, 4, and 5 were amazing. Then round 6 came. Listen, I also, the first time I was reading through weekly, I also wasn't able to go through, hell nah, is that battle destruction. You already know it, Reventi. SMT fans forever, dog. What a perfect fucking, imagine if this was the Shiva fight. That would be fire. What a perfect timing. Guys, I'm here with, why is there a tidal wave coming towards my house? So for me, it's a generational fight. It is one of the better fights. It really genuinely is. That being said, there are, you know, once in a lifetime moments where you can truly, without any possible doubt in hell, say a fight is amongst the best there ever has been in existence. And I live to tell you, without even beating around the bush, Jack vs. Hercules is one of the greatest fights in manga history that I might have ever read, honestly, in my entire life. There are not many fucking fights that compare with the beauty of everything that comes out of this fucking fight. This is the soul, the heart and soul, the heart and fucking soul of Record of Ragnarok. Jack the Ripper versus Hercules is genuinely one of the greatest things in the world. Hercules' backstory. Now, this is one of the fights that I completely think wholeheartedly proves that getting the better backstory and getting more aura from your backstory does not prove that you're going to win. Because if you were going to ask me, I wholeheartedly believe that Hercules' fucking backstory is better than Jack's by far. Fucking look at that Cerberus, dog. The fucking Cerberus art is immaculate. The fucking 12 labors being Hercules' power source, where he basically gives up parts of his life force and has his tattoo grow even further as they fight. Jack the Ripper, while his backstory is definitely great, I love the idea that Jack the Ripper is literally able to view people's emotions and literally see people's hearts on their sleeves. My only complaint is we didn't get to see all of Hercules' labors. Very true. That's a good point. But Jack, as a character, as a gentleman, as a trickster, he really was the perfect fighter to go up against a straightforward, all-around demigod like Hercules, because Hercules is just a good guy, even as Alcides in his backstory, where he goes up against the god of war Ares just because he wants to protect his village, and he deals with bullying, and he drinks the ambrosia that turns him part god. And like I said, this awesome panel of of Hercules being like, humanity is scornful, faithless, depraved, sycophantic, rebellious, slothful, vindictive, envious, oppressive, prideful, egotistical, unjust, resentful, desperate, greedy, despairing, sly, crafty, treacherous, lustful. And yet, in spite of all that, I truly love humanity. And this is my answer to the person that asked me if I stand with the gods or if I stand with humanity. For all of our flaws, we deserve to live, and no one deserves to tell us that we fucking can't. So yeah, is Jack a mass murderer in this version too? Yes, he is. Yes, he is indeed. That's why humanity fucking hates Jack. Jack is, even after Jack wins the fight, humanity throws rocks and tomatoes at him. They're throwing tomato, tomato, boo. They're booing him. I am a demigod, a human born on Earth who ascended to Olympus as a god. Humanity and deity as one, holding both titles. I can say this. Humanity is foolish, jealous, hateful, and discriminatory. Like, and that leads him into this big fucking rant. But yeah. This is when Hercules fucking summons his final fucking labor and goes all out on Jack. Jack winning because the whole idea of Jack's Voland with the Valkyries being his gloves that are able to turn whatever he touches into weapons, and he's able to just completely fucking abuse that, is just fucking awesome. Going up against this fucking demigod that's literally calling Cerberus from fucking Helheim to fucking power him up. And then Jack literally goes up against Hercules with a fucking, what? A piece of a wooden gate and a piece of a door as sword and fucking shield. Like, Jack the Ripper is cracked. Like, he is one of the coolest characters in the world. Like, he is deranged, demented, and a massive serial killer. Though it's something the gods can never surpass, the humans' malice, literally. Jack fucking finishing the fight the way he does too is fucking beautiful. Taking the fucking blow with the fucking spear and then coating his gloves in his blood to turn his own blood into a weapon. And then Hercules goes to finish him and goes, you needn't suffer anymore. Goes to fucking finish him with the final blow as fucking Jack falls. And then Jack hits the fucking psych. Fucking rips his hands right through Hercules just to finish the fucking... Look at that artwork, dog. Even Hercules' death was one of the best. Agreed, completely. Again, just Jack fucking being one step ahead every single time. Dear God is the fucking coldest finisher in the world. Indeed. Fucking tricking Hercules even in the end. When they thought that fucking Jack the Ripper was gone. When they thought he was about to fucking die. He fucking pulls it together in the final moment. Something I really loved was how Hercules changed from seeing Jack as a psycho who doesn't deserve redemption to accepting him as a person. I completely agree. The dynamic of this fight genuinely is one of the best. Of like Hercules even being willing to accept Jack as the fucking the sociopathic killer that he is crazy to me. And Jack's backstory is sad, right? That he, his mom was the, most important person to him. His mom was the only person whose emotion color he genuinely loved, because every other person looked at him with disgust and contempt because he was poor and lived in a whorehouse. And finding out that his mom only cared about him just because she was hoping and holding on to him because the man that she loved promised he would come back for her and him. And he went and married someone else, and then she hated him. It's sad. It probably doesn't excuse becoming a mass murderer, but yeah, 26 minutes 57 seconds. Jack the Ripper as the winner of the fight. Genuinely, again, an S tier fight. And I might not have explained it much in these panels, but like, the reason why it's an S tier fight is because not only do Jack and Hercules have like a great dynamic between them, like Jack as a fighter is such an entertaining display of just, again, going up against a pure powerhouse like Hercules, who again is so straightforward, so honest, that he can be so easily tricked by someone like Jack, who's more intelligent, is able to turn anything he touches into a weapon. Jack is taking breaks for tea, Gatling gunning himself up buildings and, making Hercules hit himself and throwing knives that don't hurt Hercules, and then the knives do hurt Hercules because he turned them into divine weapons afterwards. The Blessing of Ronda where he drops a fucking building on him. Yeah, it's just... Humans would always still boo the man that kept humanity alive and got them their second win. So true. all the best aspects of this manga came together in this fight, I completely agree, 110%. That's why I gotta put Jack the Ripper in S tier. It is like such a good fight. One of the best. It's probably one of, if not my favorite fight in the whole manga. Even when I first read it, it was beautiful to me. And I think personally, when I first read this series, I think the amazingness of Jack the Ripper versus Hercules actually genuinely like fucked up my enjoyment of the next fight to come, because rereading everything, Raiden Tamimon versus Shiva was so good. Why do the banger SMT songs only play sometimes? I had to actually delete some SMT songs because they were getting copyrighted as soon as the Vengeance DLC came out. Unfortunately, I had a lot of the new songs and they got copyrighted. So unfortunately, my music playlist gets smaller and smaller every time I get a copyright strike, because I just don't want to play games and fight those. I just delete the song from my playlist after I get a copyright strike. But yeah, Raiden vs Shiva is an underrated fight, and it definitely won my heart over. Rereading it, without a doubt. God bless Jack the Ripper fight, though. One of the best for sure. One of the best for sure. Weeb Guru, thank you for the 5. Round 7 is an S tier, bruh. Also side with the gods, of course. Also, Susanoo can break infinity because of the air blade. Also, Kin and Buddha, best characters, no debate. Buddha is a really good character, and I actually appreciated Buddha a lot more on my reread as well. That the Buddha versus Zerofuku fight is still, you know, one of the most interesting and questionable to me by far. No matter how much you can possibly say, but either way, we're talking about Raiden versus Shiva right now. So that being said, hold on, here we go. God of Destruction, Baraiva of the Cosmos. About damn time I got my turn. Such a cool fucking moment. Shiva coming out with all the elephants and everything. Ain't no way that's what Vishnu looks like in ROR. Listen, don't get me started about the other fucking characters' imagery. Sometimes the gods that aren't important do get weak ass representations, I do have to admit. DDS 1 and 2 OST would go crazy as background OSTs. You're so right. I really should fucking go pull those in and get them in the playlist. I gotta take some time and go back and get some more music. It's been honestly a long time since I've added music to the playlist. Raiden's Valkyrie is a Chad. Very true. She's a Stacy indeed. Shiva's, so Raiden Tamimon versus Shiva is great. I do have some panels of course, the in-between section where Buddha does get revealed to be a traitor to the gods, or at least somewhat. And Zeus and Loki are super pissed that they just lost 2 fucking battles in a row. Again, at this point in the tournament, a lot of the gods still thought this was one big fucking joke. While they were impressed by how, Lu Bu and Adam fought, they didn't actually ever expect to have gods die and lose in the tournament. So losing not just Poseidon, but then losing Hercules as well, 2 Greek, representatives, pissed. Loki is Norse, yeah, but Loki's still pissed again that this isn't funny anymore. You've got Loki confronting Buddha for being a traitor, and again, Buddha is such a really cool character. I relate with Buddha a lot. I stan Buddha. I'm a Buddha stan. This is the fight round where I was reading the chapters in real time. I always root for the humans, but Raiden dying pissed me off anyway. Yeah, I was reading the fights in real time around this as well, and then that's where I kind of fell off too. But either way, Raiden Shiva represents the idea of legacy and what it means to follow your dream even if you don't know what could be achieved. I do, again, rereading it, I loved the fucking dynamic between Raiden and Shiva. I do love Buddha going up against his own fucking people, though. Oh, did you feel threatened right now? I really don't care anymore. If you want to fight, then come at me. Buddha's fire. Gods don't like how life is fragile. Indeed, once they're finally, you know, threatened with mortality, things get real fucking serious. Okida Soji, you know, as a character that has been getting hyped up since this early in the series, finally getting his fight later, beautiful, beautiful. I just want to touch on some of the panels that we get to. Loki, so it's war you want? Fucking, they're like, hell yeah. Loki's fight going on right now. I'm interested to see how Loki's fight goes. Buddha is indeed gangster as hell. Fucking Odin stepping in and doing the spiritual pressure fucking push down. Odin and Zeus. So Shiva versus Raiden. Shiva versus Raiden is actually such a really fun fight going up against each other. Shiva, in my opinion, has the much better backstory, which this is definitely an instance where the better aura you have, the more chance you have of winning. Shiva definitely had way more aura. The one thing I will say I do appreciate about the artwork is you can tell, like, this author and mangaka did so much research and made sure that, like, they depicted the gods as earnestly as possible. Like, you look at fucking Shiva and, like, you're like, this is an Indian man. Like, this is an Indian, like, you can clearly see in his face, his features, like, this is an Indian man. Like, that's one thing I do generally appreciate is, like he does give grace to all of the different cultures and everything like that. He really genuinely does. Shiva's backstory of fighting with Ruja all the way to the top, you know, of the godhood, and then having to fight Ruja at the very end and not even being willing to kill Ruja was fucking awesome in my opinion. I really genuinely appreciated Shiva's backstory. I thought it was a lot of fun. It gives him a lot of reason to win. This, in my opinion, was one of the, this definitely came first. History's strongest Rikishi, Raiden Tamimon versus Svarga's mightiest destroyer, Shiva. Like, this inspired the Gojo versus Sukuna panel, without a doubt, right? Like, we can all agree, like, this came first, right? Like, this was way before Gojo versus Sukuna. Gege is confirmed a Record of Ragnarok enjoyer. But the art is fucking beautiful. Raiden Tamimon as a character that was born with muscles that were way too fucking strong for his body, and he had to adapt his muscles and just body to his body to, like, how fucking detrimental his insanely powerful muscles were, and his Valkyrie giving him the power to fully realize his body's strength. Shiva just being a full-on brawler, and Raiden being a sumo wrestler was fucking awesome. In a strange coincidence, the man and god who had once stood at the peak of their respective societies had penetrated the deepest secrets of their martial arts at the same time. Like, the fucking aura that comes out of some of these fucking panels. You know? Look at this fucking artwork with both men burdened by so many hopes and their souls ablaze. They were able to have the best fight of their lives. Shiva standing for all of his fellow god brethren and everything that he stood for, getting to the top of Mount Svarga. And Raiden Tamimon representing every single fucking Rikishi that he's defeated and representing the peak of sumo. Fucking the Yatagarasu versus the fucking Deva Loka. ROR narrator do be spitting bars from time to time. Bro, every time the narrator's like, no, 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 in the backstories. That is not how the history went. I crack up. I'm like, yes, bro, get in your bag. Oh, that might get us demonetized. I didn't realize that. Okay, well, yeah, Shiva fucking beheads the shit out of Raiden at the very end. It is actually, it ends up being such a great fight, and I do genuinely appreciate the amount of dedication the mangaka took to make Shiva a fucking badass, but a canonical to the Hindu religion badass, right? Shiva will burn his own body and recreate the world from its ashes. The Tandava karma. Fucking, as an SMT fan, I know the Tandava. Tandava is a fucking badass fucking move, and I love seeing that. Raiden basically being just like able to like buff himself. It's a fun fight, right? It is genuinely a very fun fight. I think the fight is fun. I would probably put it in the upper echelons of B, maybe at the bottom of A, personally. I need a narrator in my life, you and me both. Weeb Guru, thank you for the 5. Appreciate the love, appreciate the dono, thank you. I've been said Gojo vs Sukuna is Buddha vs Shiva, bruh. Can see it perfectly. Shame the gods are weak compared to their mythology. Also read the spinoff. I have to check the spinoff out. Now that I'm done with Record of Ragnarok, I'm free to read new stuff, so I would definitely say it's a low A tier fight. Yeah, it's like a B plus, A minus kind of thing, you know? It's like right in the middle there. It's right in the middle there. I think Shiva definitely has the better backstory. It's fun to read. It is fun. It is fun to read going back at it, but it definitely. All right, I gotta be honest. It doesn't hold the same weight. It really doesn't hold the same weight. I'll do B plus. We'll do high B plus. It's up there, but like compared to Lubu, Sasaki Kojiro, fucking these fights, you know what? It's still good, but it's not as great. Come on. You know what? I just don't want to have too many in A. Maybe we'll change it. Maybe we could, to be determined, right? Nothing, no ranks are permanent. No ranks are permanent. It's A tier, bro. I know. I'm fucking up. I'm sorry. I'm severely fucking up. I'm losing your trust. Okay. Watching the anime because the pacing's better. Spinoff is being done by new guys that might improve over time. I think that and the Lubu fight are both B's, but don't mind me. No, you're right. Lubu, I think Lubu acts as a really fun... Huh. Nah, yeah, I'm sticking with B. I'm sticking B. The back and forth wasn't the strongest. It was okay, but no, you're right. Speaking of, the back and forth wasn't the strongest. While these might be my most controversial opinions on the entire tier list, don't get me wrong, I do think that the full read through of this fight overall as a binge read through was okay. This is the fight where I stopped reading my first read through as a monthly experience, as a issue by issue experience, just because it was a little much of a slog. And let me tell you why. Let me explain to you why. Buddha as a character is an awesome and fun character to get into, right? I do appreciate everything that Buddha stands for, and the fact that he turns against the gods and fights for humanity here, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one, because in this whole world, I'm just me. You know, I genuinely do appreciate Buddha's, you know, character here. Buddha is also the pure enlightenment, the 8th consciousness, where Buddha is able to like view one's soul and also adapt to that. Like, I think that is fucking awesome, and that's how he's able to perfectly, you know, predict people's movements and fight against them. I like Buddha as a character. I also love Buddha's backstory. Fucking Buddha just like meeting with his friend dies, and then like mid being on a horse, he's just like, I've got it. I've been through enlightenment. And then he fucking steals his friend's corpse and puts it in a river and tells everyone to shut the fuck up and said, fuck your prayers and fuck your gods. He goes, I'm gonna do what I want. And I do appreciate Buddha as a character. Like Buddha showing up to monks and like giving starving monks that are going through like insane prayers and starving themselves, and Buddha just being like, give him this. And the head monk would be like, what do you think you're doing? He can't eat that food greedily while he's in the middle of your sacred mortification. And he's like, you know what? He goes, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna feed this guy because I want to feed him. And everyone's like, are you sure we can just, you know, doze off all day and not do anything right here? Is that okay? And he's like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's fine. Let's just fucking chill the fuck out. Like, let's just do whatever the fuck we want. That's what I stand for. I stand for living the life that I want. And I never, ever want to die thinking that I should have done anything different. Buddha saving a girl from being sacrificed to the gods, and he said, shut the fuck up. If they want to try, I'll just take them on myself. I'll fight the gods myself. And Buddha becoming a god, yeah, absolutely awesome. To fight back against the fate that had been decided for him by others. To Buddha, it doesn't matter whether they are God or man. For those who try to deny him his own internal happiness and impose fate upon him, he has nothing but absolute hatred. You have a potty mouth? I do have a potty mouth. I'm sorry, Tiberius. Is that the only reason why he's fighting the gods? Hatred? I'm sure I said it before. Buddha is the strongest adolescent. In other words, right now he's at the height of puberty. Now get up. Until you're over your little tantrum, I'm all yours. So Buddha was so much fucking fun, right? And I see people talking about Zero Fuku. For me, personally, Zero Fuku really, really, really kind of made this fight a drag. The whole misery thing, the whole, like, be gone from all of that stuff to me was super kind of just lame. It didn't hit for me personally. Zero Fuku's backstory makes sense. I'm not saying that it doesn't, right? Like the fact that he gave all of himself and constantly absorbed the misfortune of humans just for humans to turn around and still sin and still be terrible fucking people. And have him feel like he accomplished nothing, and then turn around and see Buddha give people happiness and give people pleasure by doing almost next to nothing but having people follow him. I do appreciate Zero Fuku's backstory, and his contrast to Buddha makes sense. Zero Fuku as a character that is just constantly complaining about misery and everything like that just doesn't hit for me. I understand he's supposed to be like this he's supposed to be this adolescent, going through the teenage angst kind of character, that Buddha is here as this, top tier big brother kind of entity that's there to stand by Zero Fuku. I like it. I like the weapon that, his weapon does change with the amount of misery. Buddha, I think, just has so much more aura. Buddha is just so much more of a fun character that seems to have a personality rather than someone that just cries about misery all day. You do have Heijin, who then shows up and replaces Zero Fuku, which just makes the fight super weird, because you have the fight go from Bishamonten, who the author scraps Bishamonten, puts Zero Fuku in, and then mid-fight we scrap Zero Fuku and then we go with Heijin. And yeah, just aura, Salakayas, Scythe of the Wild God, fucking Buddha fucking awakening his true divine weapon, trying to end the fight in one blow. And if any god gets in my way, I'll kill them. And he goes against Heijin and he wins the fight against Heijin. I mean, overall, the one thing I will say about this fight, especially because I didn't know how it ended, right? So I was able to go back into it and reread it and not know who won and kind of just see the back and forth. The one thing I will give this fight is it does have a really good back and forth upon reread. When you go back and forth on this fight and you don't know the outcome, you can say, you know what? Buddha's got the edge here. oh shit, Zero Fuku Heijin just took this over. Heijin's definitely gonna win. Oh, Buddha turned this back around. Oh, but Heijin completely turned this around. Like, it's a good back and forth of a fight, so I'll give it that. But yeah, no, I definitely think of all kinds of fights, this is probably the lowest tier for me, personally, and that's why I think Raiden, Tommymon, and Shiva can go up to A. I think the back and forth is good. The Heijin, I think the dynamic Buddha does carry this fight significantly. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I'm sticking with it. Yeah, Zero Fuku Buddha C. It's still an enjoyable fight. It didn't ruin the fight for me, but in my opinion, it's probably one of, if not the weakest fight. But it does have enjoyable qualities of it. I wouldn't say it's bad. Buddha is very enjoyable. Again, I think it's a good and intense fight going through it. But we'll give it a C. We'll give it a C for sure. Up next, we've got Qin Huang. I might be pronouncing that wrong. The original king versus Hades, the king of Niflheim. Or Helheim, I'm sorry. And this fight was a good fight. It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable fight. Let me get the panels so I can put them on screen. For someone who completely went into the rest of this blind, right? Because I was not aware of anything that would happen past this point. So it was fun for me to see what would happen past the Zero Fuku fight, personally. That being said, isn't this basically Sasaki versus Poseidon, but without the emotionless Poseidon thing? So I will say, my one criticism that I have for this fight probably surrounds mostly Hades and any issues that I have with Hades, because Hades, very similarly to Poseidon, is just a little lackluster, in my personal opinion. Hades, while being a cool character, I do love his elder brother moments. I do love when he does all of that stuff. That is fun for me to read through. I do love Hades' backstory. I also appreciate Qin Huang's backstory as well. There we go. Was just waiting for the other fucking panels to pop in. Here we go. Now they're popping in. Now they're here, baby. But I do also love Qin Huang's backstory as well, too, with his mentor, his guardian, having all of the hatred pinned on him for fucking the sins of his father. Just bullshit, right? Just absolute bullshit. I also love he was the most cursed prince in all of history. What lies behind the mask of the king where it all began? Look at that aura. Look at that fucking aura. And just, yeah. The thing for me is Hades' moveset was a little lackluster for me. Hades, instead of being like Poseidon, who Poseidon threw a bunch of thrusts with his trident, Hades with his bident, literally fucking just thrusting strongly and having more force behind his throws was a little lackluster to me. I just thought there wasn't enough choreography in this fight to make it enjoyable and make it more dynamic rather than just a simple back and forth. Although I do appreciate Qin Shi Huang's fucking dynamicism with his air bubbles, with his ability to see chi and be able to see people's direct weak points with his special eyes. Although the one downside being that he is so empathetic, he literally feels the pain that he inflicts on other people. But Hades just fighting to represent how much he loves his brother and be able to, and tries to do the same shit that his brother does, puts the blood through his hair just like Poseidon did. It's like, I get it, you're trying to honor your brother. Would have loved the helmet of invisibility. That would have been very cool. But in some necromancer shit, or at least hellfire, yeah, we haven't really had like a fire, you know, manipulator or fire user. He did enter the arena near Hades. Like Qin Shi Huang has one of the coldest openings where he like embarrasses Ares, the god of war. I do love, I'm a sucker for a cool spear, so Hades fucking developing his fucking spear, everything like that. Very cool. King of Men, this is my trump card. You know, as their elder brother, I shan't be defeated. I love the brother aspect. As a brother myself, someone that has a younger brother, like I love the idea that like, I'm gonna handle my brother's problems for them. And then, you know, whether they want to thank me or not, it doesn't matter because you know, I'm going to do shit. I'm the older brother. I can't be defeated. Like, I love Hades' small little backstory he has of taking on the Gigantomachy in Helheim all by himself, asking for no help. It is beautiful. His small moment with Poseidon, you know, I only did what was right as the elder brother by watching over my brother's backs. You could have very well been defeated. I won't be. Poseidon, I swear, I won't lose to anybody. As the elder brother, I shan't be defeated. But even still, perhaps I was too reckless this time. Brother parts are strong, I completely agree. Only thing he needs is his love for us. A direct ripoff of Adam, in my opinion, but okay. One thing I wish Record of Ragnarok did better was to make the gods have a more mystical move set instead of just strong punches and kicks. I can agree with that. I think, like I said, specifically with Hades, whether we could use the invisibility helmet, stuff like that, that would have been fun. Weeb Guru, thank you for the dono again. Appreciate the love. Okay, that's the point. Hades is only his duty, hence why he doesn't have much of a character, because he didn't have the balance. The theme is the same as 2. The one thing I will say, listen, I'm not knocking Hades at all, right? Like I'm not saying that like Hades' writing is bad by any means. I'm just saying that his character didn't resonate with me. You know, as you know, that's one of the greatest things I think about Record of Ragnarok, especially with the writing and all of the characters, is that every character is unique in a sense that it can resonate with other people. Like you can relate to different characters. Like Qin Shi Huang also didn't fucking hit for me, to be honest with you. Like I like Qin Shi Huang's backstory, but he didn't hit for me that hard either, personally. Like this fight, as far as it goes, is probably lower on the totem pole for other fights for me personally. No Persephone, literally have her name in his attacks, but no Persephone. Yeah, he does have the Persephone as his name, but that's it. Now you've gone too far, Noop. Yeah, it just didn't strike me. I'm sorry. He's cool. He's cool. I think he's all right. Excellent, O lofty king. Now let us tear at his very heart, Desmos. He who bore the pride of the gods and laid down his own life, the king of the netherworld, and he who knew the pain of others and fought for the sake of his people, the king where it all began. Only a king can understand the mind of a king, and these two kings could both tell that the end of the match was nigh. The character looks very unique, 100%. Power-wise, they're like, yeah, I think Hades is a little like, the fact that fucking Qin Shi Huang fights with his arm fucking cut off is crazy. I'll give him that. He's got a hardcore ass aura. And the way he beats Hades is fire, too. Against this fully powered attack from the King of the Netherworld, which seemed as though it could kill with a simple graze. I'm grateful that I could speak with you, King of the Netherworld. Fire. You know, it was a good fight, enjoyable fight. Mud wrestling, me and you. Oh, I'll mud wrestle you all day, every day. But yeah, I know this might get me hated, but Qin Shi Huang versus Hades is a B for me. Qin Shi Huang versus Hades is a B for me, unfortunately. That's just how it be. I can't lie. I have to be honest with you. His design carries him. I honestly, I don't know if I can even argue against that. This fight is the top of S. Crazy. No way you believe that. Better than Jack the Ripper versus Hercules and Adam versus Zeus? Nah. I could maybe see you feel that way above the A tier fights. Again, personally, this just didn't hit for me. But above the toppest of tier? None. None. That being said, we move on. We move forward. And moving forward means getting to the very next fight in this equation. And I gotta tell you, it is a fight that genuinely I had a lot of fun with. A lot of fun with. Beelzebub versus Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla is a very fun human character. I love the idea of a scientist, of a character who loves inventing, loves the pursuit of knowledge so fucking much that even while he's fighting a villain, fighting an enemy to himself, he's able to appreciate the intuitive nature and the greatness of the things that Beelzebub is capable of. Tesla got fucking robbed. Listen, Tesla versus Beelzebub is an amazing fight, genuinely in my opinion, because everything that Nikola Tesla does, that he's capable of doing thanks to his Tesla particles. First of all, I love the whole idea that like Brunhild is like, oh, it's capable of this with Tesla particles, and like Goal is like, well, what's a Tesla particle? And Brunhild's like, how the fuck should I know? I'm not Nikola Tesla. And I'm like, perfect explanation for that. He doesn't need an explanation for why he's able to do everything he does. He's able to just use everything that he can in his afterlife and just come up with the best possible things. You know, it's cool. While Nikola Tesla doesn't really have much of a like backstory, I think as a character, he's very fun. I think the fact that he, you know, does awesome fucking teleportation, he has those awesome fucking electricity moves, the fact that he's called Human History's one and only sorcerer because of the science and creativity he has. It's fucking insane. It genuinely is one of the craziest fucking things. Like, Nikola Tesla has mad aura. You have a magnificent reaction speed. So then tell me what you think of this. And he's right fucking there in front of him with his fucking finger pointer. It's like, god damn, dude. Ayo, what up, Mysterious Weeb? Hell yeah, Ragnarok stream. We finally caught up. Tesla and Hades is interesting on the idea that no matter how much we suffer, we as people can still advance forward. Meanwhile, Beelzebub's still trapped in the past. So, Beelzebub's backstory, I will say, is so... this is a case of Beelzebub having more aura than Nikola Tesla when it comes to backstory, in my honest opinion. Nikola Tesla, while you get everything from his character that you need, right? Like, you get the small little bit of backstory where he tries to, you know, fix his brother's windmill, do better than his brother ever could, and do it. Beelzebub's backstory kind of didn't hit. See, it's funny, and this is, you know what, Reventi, you hit the nail on the head where it shows how many different opinions that we can have around this series and how other characters fucking hit for other people, because I loved Beelzebub's backstory. I loved the idea that him being cursed by Satan, and like constantly thinking that Satan was the problem that caused him all of his issues, and it ended up just bringing him closer and closer to darkness, and he ended up just being what he deemed as Satan himself, even though we get later confirmation that Satan is just a primordial god. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a very tragic backstory. I thought it was very fucking sad. The fact that he loses his friends, the only thing that I have a complaint about is that Lucifer, Azazel, and who's the other demon? I don't remember, but like these high tier princes of hell, Lucifer especially, are like relegated to just being side characters in Beelzebub's backstory. Crazy to me. Crazy to me. Lucifer, son of the morning? You're gonna do Lucifer, son of the morning, like that? Lilith, his lover, Samael. That was Samael. You know, but Beelzebub being what he believes is Satan himself, killing his lover, Lilith. I hit it, but for me, I hit it. That's not what I meant by that. That's not what I meant by that. I meant I fucked with Beelzebub's backstory. Maybe they'll come back. I doubt it. But I love Beelzebub's character, the Lord of the Flies. To be honest with you, I'm a stan of Beelzebub just in general. If there's one thing you need to know about me, I'm a blasphemous motherfucker. I genuinely do love hell. I do love demonology, stuff like that. I'm not like a Satan worshiper or anything like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I'm generally a very free thinking person. You know, I think demons are cool. Beelzebub is one of my favorite princes of hell. I'm just a fan of mythology. I'm a fan of cosmology. I'm a fan of demons and gods. I'm a fucking SMT fan. I love mythology. That's why I love Record of Ragnarok, right? Like, I enjoy Valhalla. I enjoy, Greek gods, Norse gods. I love just mythology and religion in general, even as someone that's not very religious. So Beelzebub is one of my favorite demons. I think the Lord of the Flies is just cool imagery. So that being said, yeah. I love this fight just because, I think he perfectly represented the fact that he was all about, like, his power was vibrations. You know what I mean? Like, as a character that's supposed to be Lord of the Flies, who, like, they buzz their fucking wings, like, I thought that was super cool to do. Beelzebub looking for someone that can kill him, his struggle to constantly find someone that could actually end his suffering, his backstory and why he appreciated Hades, because Hades wasn't willing to kill him and tried to show Beelzebub he was worth living, and that Lilith cursed Beelzebub with the curse of life, not because she cursed him, but because she blessed him. She wanted him to live. She wanted him to survive. And yeah, all of the imagery and all of the art that went along with Beelzebub is fire. All of his attacks, everything, I think was great. And again, Nikola Tesla was super cool too. Beelzebub, or Baalzebul, is an unusual god bearing two faces. Allow me to show you my domain expansion. Right? Like, Nikola Tesla literally has a domain. Beelzebub fucking crushing the fucking skull of his staff the moment that Baal meets with Zebul. Yeah, that was such a fire moment. This was also a very good back and forth as well. Again, everything that Nikola Tesla pulls out, the teleportation, the anti-gravity, where he's able to just, like, the Tesla step, like, all of it is super fucking cool. Loved it. But again, I personally just thought that Beelzebub had a little bit more aura. I might be biased in saying that, but still. I thought it was a fun fight. I was completely cool with Beelzebub winning. Again, I'm probably biased when I say that, although I can see why people would think that Nikola Tesla had the aura to win. He, again, was like, oh, so much cooler Iron Man. And the fact that his cores gave out before he could beat Beelzebub, I can understand why people would say he was robbed. I can understand why people would say he was robbed. That being said, yeah, I definitely think that this goes up in the S tier of fights, for sure. This definitely goes up in the S tiers. Without a doubt. It was a back and forth, but honestly, Tesla didn't really stand a chance at winning. I think Tesla put up a really good fight. I enjoyed Nikola Tesla versus Beelzebub way more than I enjoyed, you know, Kojiro versus Poseidon and Lubu versus Thor. And I definitely think I enjoyed Sasaki versus Poseidon and Lubu versus Thor way more than, like... Actually, no. I think Raiden and Shiva gets up to A. I think Raiden and Shiva gets up to A for sure. I would definitely say these are all likewise. Would I drop Lubu versus Thor? This was a situation where the fight was better than the backstories. True. Check out Die Record of Ragnarok fan art later. They're very good. I'll have to check them out. Thank you for the recommendation. He definitely put up a great fight. S tier fight. Yeah, I think Thor. I think Lubu versus Thor might drop. I think it does. I think it does drop. I think it drops to B. I think it drops to B. I think Kin deserves S tier now too. Absolutely not. Now, I will say, I don't know if this is a controversial statement to have. Frankly, I just don't. So I'm kind of curious to hear what you all have to say here. King Leonidas versus Apollo. I think, to be completely honest with you, is probably the worst fight in the entire series for me. Haven't read this fight yet. Yeah, King Leonidas versus Apollo is probably the weakest fight for me. I don't know. Apollo is a great character in my opinion. King Leo is just lame. I didn't think there was anything cool about King Leo at all. Leo was overhyped. It's definitely bad. Okay, I'm not alone in thinking this, right? Like, Leo was just lame and Apollo was just cool. You know what I mean? Apollo wasn't great. I don't want to make it sound like Apollo was like an amazing fucking character, but King Leonidas is just, I understand the vibe that the mangaka was going for. And I do fuck with the character design and the take that the mangaka had on King Leonidas, but it just wasn't it. It wasn't it at all. It really wasn't it. Apollo's backstory was fire, dog. Apollo's backstory, you know, fighting this evil fucking monster and then being able to see the beauty in the monster not giving up, and then that monster turning a good leaf and like turning around and like being a decent fucking monster that built a temple in Apollo because he was the only person that was able to see his beauty. Apollo being a fucking amazing fucking boxer as well was fucking hype. You know, Apollo had so much more aura than Leonidas did. Like, this is the coolest fucking line that Leonidas has. Looking like that, you're still trying to act cool. Fuck, you talk too much, but I fucking like that. Like, as someone that watched 300, this was such a shame. Yeah, just Leonidas just being just like a fucking brute military dude. Just like your basic ass, like, macho man. Again, I get it. I get it. I don't think it was a bad decision to make, but I think overall, like there just wasn't enough done with it. And Apollo just had so much more aura. They sacrificed this round to increase the chapter count for next round. Potential that might have been the case. I like the whole idea of he looks like a Kaiju 8 character, Kaiju number 8 character. He does. He looks like the fucking Isao Shinomiya. Yeah, Leonidas just being a shield, Captain America, you know, reference, and then he's got like the big mace that he fights with, and Apollo just runs circle around King Leonidas as a boxer, and then the gods get mad that, or the humans get mad that Apollo is just embarrassing King Leonidas and just fucking boxing circles around him. Apollo deserved to be the only Greek god besides Zeus to survive. Very true, Happy Gem, very true. And then Apollo literally like makes like a video game barrier so that way they can fight in King Leonidas's range to make things easier for him. And then Apollo still cooks him with the Moonlight of Artemis and doing the fucking Supreme Bow. And he does the fucking Arrow of Light that fucking cooks Leonidas. Makes you wonder why Hilda even chose this guy. I think King Leonidas just got shafted, to be honest with you. I think he was hyped up. I agree with her. He was hyped up very well. Did Apollo just have a stand for a minute? He might as well have. He might as well had. Bro pulled a fuga indeed. Phoebe's Apollo's supreme technique. Literally just arrows of light that just fucking, I assume, move at the speed of light too. Leonidas just didn't have anything going for him, bro. His backstory was whatever, where he stood against the government and fought in the 300. It was cool. They did the This Is Sparta reference to the 300 movie like 3 or 4 times. It was okay. He survives his fighting style was just really buns. It was really boring. When he shot himself at Leo, that was cool indeed. He was downplaying Leo. Of course, he wasn't going to outshine the sun. I guess. I don't know. It just... there wasn't anything that I was like, damn, that was cool. Like, Leonidas just was just kind of boring. Apollo was the saving grace of this fight. Thanks to fighting with you and your blazing soul, I'll grow even more beautiful. It really seemed like this was a low diff for Apollo. Apollo becoming the silver arrow that crumbled the walls of Argos. Apollo was just overall better in nearly every aspect. Yeah, that's really what it came down to. Apollo's character carried this fight. This was Leonidas from Meet the Spartans. Yo, I'm dead, Tiberius. Look at that aura. The strongest arrow in Valhalla and the humanity's strongest spear will now clash against one another. And Apollo leaving his scar because it's proof of his soul-burning fight with them. Fire, you know. Apollo carried the fight. But yeah, I have to say, like, low C might even be a D for me, honestly. Yeah, it's Apollo is a fun. Honestly, it's a D. Yeah, Buddha in Zero Fuku, I can say at least has a very fun back and forth as a fun time as a first time reader. But even as a first time reader, Leonidas versus Apollo is just Leo has no aura the entire time. Apollo steals the show, and yeah, it's just watching Apollo low diff Leo and there's not even anything likable about Leo. You know, like, at least, again, like, the Buddha versus Zero Fuku fight is a slog to get through, and it honestly is way too many chapters than it deserves. But, like, at least, like, I could enjoy the idea of, damn, Buddha might really lose this one. Oh, shit, Buddha's coming back. Oh, shit, Heijin's coming in for the win to win this one. Oh, nah, blah, blah, blah. Can't disagree, but hopefully the anime gives it more content. The anime could potentially reclaim this fight. Could potentially reclaim this fight. That being said, that being said, the next fight, and honestly, the last fight to be finished in Record of Ragnarok, because unfortunately, Simo versus Loki just began. Why was Leonidas introduced wearing a tropical shirt, reading a book? Bro, they were going for a Thomas Andre thing, I really think, from Solo Leveling. They were going for a Thomas Andre thing. They really were. Which I get it. Thomas Andre has aura in Solo Leveling, but they weren't able to. They weren't able to recreate it. They just were not able to recreate the gas of Thomas Andre, unfortunately. They just weren't. All right, that's Thomas Andre and Sung Jin Woo Yowie. All right, we'll move on. Now that we've been cursed with that. All right. I probably have what might be the most amount of panels from this fight, because this fight, I think, yeah, one of the best. One of the best, in my opinion. Okita Soji versus Susanoo no Mikoto genuinely might be the best fight in the entire series for me. Might be the best fight in the entire series for me. And honestly, rethinking it for me, I'm moving Beelzebub versus Tesla to an A. And putting Okita versus Susanoo for S to me. This is another fight that the anime needs to help only because of the pacing. Now, keep this in mind that I am talking as someone that read this fight in a binge, right? I didn't read this weekly, or I didn't read this monthly. I read this all in one, so any pacing issues that some of the people that read this monthly might have had with this fight, I did not have. In my honest opinion, this fight not only flew by super quick, it was very fun every chapter. Month to month, this thing dragged. I can believe that. I can 110% believe that. Personally, I don't think Record of Ragnarok is great as a monthly read through. That's just me. I think the fights are much better received as a binge altogether, because sometimes the fights can seem slower than they actually are. Personally, reading this as a binge, this fight was not only super quick and felt just as fast as like the Beelzebub Tesla fight, or like even like the Adam versus, like, it felt super fast. I was honestly surprised with the final time of this fight, right? Honestly surprised at the final timing of this fight. Okita Soji as Shinsengumi's first division captain, like, there is a reason why this fight has the most amount of saved panels that I could have ever possibly had, because Susanoo no Mikoto's backstory is very great in the idea that he is the origin of the sword, but not the origin of swordsmanship, and he was willing to literally give up his godhood to learn swordsmanship from humans and just perfect his sword to the utmost peak of everything. And then he's going up against Okita, who's been hyped up since the very beginning of the series, right? He was shown early, so to watch him finally fight and just see his swordsmanship adapt the entire time, like Susanoo Mikoto's fucking Shinra Yorozu, all gods in the heavens ability, and going up against the Demon Child's fucking no stance. Fire. Who's been my favorite character? Either Jack the Ripper or Okita. I think Okita has surpassed Like, if I had to rate my top characters, like right now, the top comes to mind. I might do like a character tier list later down the line because I did really enjoy this read through. But genuinely, like Okita Soji, Beelzebub, Buddha, like those are some of my favorite fucking characters. And Jack the Ripper is such a fun character for me. Yeah, like I love Beelzebub. But yeah, like Okita had just Okita is the definition of aura. When he starts fucking dipping, I love Apollo, but his opponent was boring. Nenny, we completely agree on that. Like the strongest manslayer, and then you've got fucking Susanoo Mikoto with his fucking left palm with the atypical stance. Listen, I played Ghost of Tsushima. I played Ghost of Tsushima. When I saw this man take this, Susanoo Mikoto take this stance, I knew some shit was up. I knew we were running into some problems. I knew without a doubt there was gonna be some issues here. Like them being forced back by their sword pressure alone. Like the artwork in this fight is beautiful. And again, I can understand where weekly this might have taken up a lot of space. Monthly, this fight probably took a year to go through. So I can imagine. Susanoo breaking Infinity with the no armed blade. Yeah, the no armed blade was crazy because right when you think Okita has the aura to come out and win this fight, like everything that Susanoo Mikoto throws out, right? Okita manages to adapt with and defeat just by pure, again, like Okita is aura incarnate, and I don't mean that because I don't have any other word to describe him. Like Okita as the world's strongest manslayer is on the battlefield day in and day out, and even as he was sick with tuberculosis, Okita was one of the anime characters that was so strong he had to be held back by the gods themselves by fucking bestowing him with the disease of anime tuberculosis, anime coughing. Tuberculosis kills more anime characters that have aura than any other fucking disease known to man. I swear to God. I thought Sue was gonna win with the sword. Like this was another great fight that had awesome back and forth because this fight genuinely, like, it goes, the momentum shifts from Okita to Susanoo, every time Okita pulls out something new, Susanoo has something to match it. Every time Susanoo matches Okita's aura, Okita pulls out something different or just finds a new way to adapt, becomes even hotter. You know what I mean? Like Okita becoming one with the demon child within him, like, was fucking peak. The fact that the narrator, like, again, the narrator gives so much aura, but that he had woken up to the demon child, no. The sword demon of truth. And it becomes not just the sword god Susanoo versus the demon child Okita Soji. It becomes the sword god versus the sword demon. I'm burning up, and Okita's get fucked. What are the chances the series end with gods winning? I highly doubt that. Especially with now, it seems like the story going based off of if the gods win, humanity gets destroyed, and then Odin is able to reawaken the primordial gods. Although I can see the story going with the gods win, but the gods decide that humanity is worth it, especially after this fight where not only does one of the primordial gods, Izanagi, revive Okita and show the favor that gods have for humanity, especially after all of these 10 fights. Even like Zeus and the main gods in Valhalla that have been main spectators for most of the fights are also talking about how, like, even Zeus says, like, this was just another instance of humanity showing us how great they truly are and how they can truly exceed us. Like, I do think that even if the gods do win, they will decide to not destroy humanity. Rasputin is funny because the fact that Rasputin's design hasn't been revealed yet makes me think, and the fact that Anubis keeps getting shafted in fights, it makes me think that if Loki really does lose this fight against Simo Haya here, and Odin steps in, Anubis might not fight at all, right? Like, everyone's worried that, like, oh my god, how is the spin-off series Apocalypse of the Gods to decide the 13th and final fight gonna be decided? How is that gonna finish before the regular series of Record of Ragnarok? And I think it'd be so funny if, like, Record of Ragnarok has Loki lose and then Odin fights next, and then Anubis never gets to fight, and that's a funny joke because Anubis literally just never gets to fight, and Anubis has been trying to fight for the last couple of rounds. And 2, it gives plenty of time for the spin-off series to finish because that 13th spot never gets filled anyway, so it wouldn't be a spoiler to the end of the spin-off series because that fight never gets done, you know? But yeah, I personally think Okita versus Susanoo is fucking great. I think I just love Okita's aura, the Tenin Rishin style, and the fact that he is able to, going back to the whole mental battle thing that goes into Sasaki Kojiro's fight with Poseidon. The fact that on his deathbed, as Okita was cursed with anime tuberculosis, anime aura disease, he created all of these perfect and flawless sword abilities that were previously incapable of being used by humans because they exceeded anything a human would be able to accomplish. But now that he's able to, you know, go past the realms of humanity in the Record of Ragnarok series, he can actually achieve those techniques. I thought it was such a fucking cool thing. Do I think that Susanoo would cut through infinity? I really don't know. Honestly, there's a good argument to be made. I'd have to look into the science behind it more. Honestly, I don't want to say yes or no without thinking about it too much, because I'll get cooked in the comments. Also, this was a fucking awesome moment here, right? When he does this fucking weird ass fucking stance and throws it at Okito. I love the way that the author isn't afraid to cut off people's fucking words here, right? Like, he did it earlier in the demon shot. No, the sword demon. And he does it here too. So fast, I have to take this. I won't make it in time. Like, Okita stops his own thoughts and is like, I won't make it in time. An absolutely unavoidable strike from a divine weapon. Against such an attack, was Okita's reaction simply a good luck? No. And he fucking dodges it again. Okita jumps into the air, and then he goes, the sky spells death. Everyone believed the match was over, save one person, the sword demon, who simply smiled. Like, the art in this fight is fucking beautiful. Specifically talking the air sword. I know what you're talking about, Weepuru. I know what you're talking about. I love how no-op do that. No, it really adds flair to the manga. I'm telling you, bro. I completely agree. The no, or like Gege, the however. Like, those moments, I love when mangaka do that. I'm such a sucker for it. I don't care what anybody says. It never gets old for me. But yeah, the art behind this fight was fucking beautiful. He fucking chops off fucking Susanoo's foot to throw off his fucking stance, rips it out, and then fucking he merges with his demon child. I don't know, man. Sounds good to me. Me and you meeting death together. Read Tenkaichi. It's another awesome tournament manga. I will. I've got free reading material now. I'm open now that I've caught up to Record of Ragnarok. I'm probably not going to read it monthly, to be honest with you, just because, like I said before, I think these fights are best experienced in a binge. Would Beelzebub break through infinity? I don't think so. I could be wrong, though. Again, I would have to look into the science behind it, but I don't think so. I think Beelzebub wouldn't. Susanoo actually has decent reason to believe that. Here and now, I'll give my everything. I fucking love Okita. I like I said, as a binge, this fight was peak. And the art behind it was beautiful. Okita Soji, Shinsengumi's 1st Division captain, is here. And now surrounded by a deep blue aura, Okita Soji faces down the sword god Susanoo once more. I love these fights. They're so hype. They're so much fun. Like, this fight was one of the funnest for me personally. Like, that's why I think personally it is my favorite fight in the whole series. And at first, Jack the Ripper vs. Hercules severely was my favorite fight of all time. But Okita, as a character that had been hyped up since very early in the series, I think the mangaka very much delivered on that fight. I think he very much delivered. And it might have been long, but I think it deserved that kind of length. As a character that had been built up from the very beginning. Again, Okita like merging with his demon claw, doing all of these this is where he does all of the different techniques that he imagined. Wait, the shield turns into a Beyblade? You're talking about King Leonidas still? Yeah, King Leonidas' fucking weapons lame as hell. You don't even know that Okita's using a Volunder until literally the very end of the fight. Like, that's how dope Okita is. Like, it already surpassed the limits of humanity. Reading it right now, hey, peak. This was peak too, and he flew as high as the heavens. Oof. Tenon Rishin style NP Raiten. Black Kite's heavenly return. Surpassing all limits, even death. His blade arrives at the ultimate peak. Like, come on. I'm a sucker for it, bro. Soji, look at you now. The peak that nobody else managed to reach. You're already there. I just fucking love it. And you're the one who led me to this peak. Thank you very much. Like, this is everything I fucking love in a manga, bro. It pierced the boundaries between humanity and God. It was Kiso-san Danzuki, the Demon's Claw 3-stage thrust. When he beats it with the fucking perfect 3-stage thrust. The Sword Demon in a flash. He fucking wins it. And then in this moment, when you're like, Okita's got the aura, he won. And then fucking everyone's like, wait a minute. Everyone won, he won. And then it's like, no, the only person that realized he didn't win was Okita himself. Susanoo fucking pulls out the goddamn fucking unarmed air blade, which is ridiculous. And it cuts his body from within just using air itself. I have finally reached it. My own sword's peak. Unparalleled and unrestrained. Unarmed. This is my unarmed sword. Like, it was like in this moment, you're like, oh my god, this fight's still going on. Susanoo was still in this fight and Okita didn't win? Like, that's what I'm telling you. When he pulls out this sword, it's such a hype moment. You're like, what the fuck? This really isn't over yet? And the fact that Okita still stands up against the unarmed blade. This fucking art, the stance of the sword god. The sword god was a one-hit kill overhead position that reached the heavens. And Okita takes that shit head fucking on and still manages to fucking fly and win, dog. Beautiful to me. Even now you can swing your sword. The fact that he comes in and wins at the very end, it's just awesome. He does such a great job here. Without a doubt, Okita versus Susanoo is my favorite fight in the entire manga. I can't express anything more than that. I'm a sucker for a good sword fight, and this was the best sword fight that I could have ever asked for. It's one of the most fun fights I've read in a long time. and two characters that just were very fun to enjoy their power-ups, very fun to watch them go up against each other. Like, this is what Record of Ragnarok is all about, in my honest opinion. And it fully represents everything that I love about this series. Everything I love about this series. Now, of course, that being said, past Okita versus Susanoo, that was the 10th fight of Ragnarok. There is still the fight that just began, Simo versus Loki. And, oh, I can't take this out. No, I don't want to rank. Okay, hold on. Add a row below. Unfinished. Right, we'll just put that right there for right now. Now, I will say, they gave Simo Haya so much motherfucking aura. It's actually ungodly. I don't know why they gave this man so much aura, but they really did. They really fucking did. So I'm excited for this fight. I am genuinely excited for this fight. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why a sniper? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, listen, Simo Haya, if you are not familiar, has the most confirmed sniper kills in all of fucking history. Bro is a motherfucking badass known as the White Death, that literally, basically, almost single-handedly, did a significant amount of help for Finland in World War II, keeping Finland safe from the Soviet Union. And bro was so cold, so fucking dope. A week before the war ended, he got his face blown off by a Russian soldier with a pistol, I'm pretty sure, some kind of handgun. And even though bro's fucking face was blown off, he literally was like, put me back in, coach, and still wanted to fight in the war. And the Finnish army literally had to stop him from participating in the war after his face got blown off. That's why he's got this fucking face mask. Bro is like, I need to stress this. Like, he was literally just a regular farmer that enlisted, that, you know, I'm pretty sure in this time Finland had required enlistment. He went into the military, joined, and took 1 year of sniper training and became the best fucking sniper in history. Best fucking sniper in history. And when I tell you, bro did not use a scope. Bro did not use a scope when he became the best sniper in history. He literally used the fucking mechanical sight, the iron sight. Like, no scope. It's theorized he has over 500 confirmed sniper kills with no scope in the dead snow. Like, actually insane to me. Insane to me. Bro is the best sniper literally in the world. Bro was the best. He died, unfortunately. Bro was the best sniper in the world. And when asked how he felt about all of the lives that he took, he said, hey, we have Finland, right? We kept our country. If I didn't do what I did, we probably wouldn't still have our country. So that's why I did what I did. And like, what a cold fucking answer, bro. What a cold answer. You know, just honest. He said, hey, you know, I did what I fucking had to do. What did you feel when you killed all those soldiers? The recoil. But against Loki, the trickster god, who is a character who has been very present and very just in the story throughout everything, was even willing to fight against Buddha. I don't know if I would say that they ruined his character. They did reveal a little bit more about his character, that he's in love with Brunhild, and that you know, he just wants to do anything he can to help Brunhild, and was even willing to help keep Brunhild alive even after the gods won, if they did win. Which Brunhild fully, you know, exploits in order to get him to fight against Simo, because she needs Loki to die for Odin to fight. Because she knows if Loki dies, then Odin will be pissed enough to step in and fight as the, you know, leader of the Norse gods. And Loki actually genuinely accepts, for one, because he loves Brunhild, but also at the same time as he accepts, he also wants to fight Simo and win, because he's pissed that Brunhild would choose Siegfried, Brunhild's lover, over Loki. Loki banged a horse in the mythology. Hey, listen, you know, Greek and Norse and a lot of mythologies get fucking weird. When I did that Greek god video, the amount of Greek gods that were literally guilty of essay and you know, like it's actually insane. So yeah, it's just the times. I don't know what to tell you. Like the fact that Loki literally fucking appeared with Flight of the Valkyries as his song is very disrespectful. But yeah, Loki, the trickster god, who literally summons hallucinations of Odin, Hercules, and Thor upon entering his fight with a Simo and being like, there's no way I could die, I can't lose, is fucking insane. And again, Simo as a sniper, I mean, obviously Brunhild picked him for a reason. She felt he was the best possible person to go up against Loki. Again, a sniper, someone that can keep themselves safe from all of Loki's tricks and pop all of his nonsense from afar. The one thing I will say is, while Loki definitely has reasons to believe that people think he's got, you know, plot armor, all of that stuff, I will say, I think it really, at this point, it really could be anyone's game, because the story could definitely go in the route of Loki loses and Odin fights. And Anubis doesn't get to fight, funny haha, and then everything and all of the story happens within. But also, it could go with Simo losing, Loki winning and derailing Brunhild's plan, and then we do get a Rasputin fight. I will say, Rasputin in Record of Ragnarok not having a design does not bode well. While this could be, you know, them not wanting to show, I was hoping they would show the panel of where they don't show what he looks like, but seriously, it really could go either way. Rasputin could never appear because he never gets designed, and the author is like, I'm not going to design him, he's not fighting, or he just wants to keep what Rasputin looks like secret. It could go either way. What up, JG? How you doing? Rasputin is my most anticipated fighter. I agree. Yeah, Rasputin, just like Nikola Tesla was, and just like Nostradamus is as well. It will be very interesting to see what the fuck these characters' fighting arsenals are, right? Like, Nostradamus is crazy. Sakata Kintoki, you know, is a very well-known character in fiction, especially anime, manga, Japanese media, stuff like that. So, while it will be fun to see him fight, a character like Rasputin is very much interesting. It's kind of like Nikola Tesla. People were excited to see what the hell he would be looking like and what the hell his fight would be like. So yeah, very much the same with like Rasputin and Nostradamus. What the hell are these characters' fights going to look like? Who am I rooting for between Simo and Loki? Simo fucking Haya, baby. Loki is, while I think Loki's a fun character and I've enjoyed his presence in the series, Simo, for me, has mad aura. I fuck with Simo Haya. So, if Simo wins, I think, again, I just think it'd be really funny if Anubis does not get to fight. I just think that would be a really funny gag. Also, I support full-on fucking just badasses. Simo's a badass. Simo's got more aura than Loki. I'll say it here right now. Way more aura than Loki. But this is gonna have to be my definitive Record of Ragnarok fight tier list. Kind of wild there hasn't been a single Egyptian god appearance in Record of Ragnarok. Anubis does show up. I will say Anubis does appear. Anubis does get a character design and does have a character. However, he gets shafted in the fight fighting Okita. He's supposed to fight Okita, but Susanoo stands in and tells Anubis he has to wait. And then Loki steals Anubis's spot again in the fight afterwards. So so Anubis does have a character. And apparently, like everyone's saying in chat, Ra does show up in the spin-off mangas. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a character tier list soon. There's plenty of stream ideas I could do for Record of Ragnarok, just genuinely because it's a fun series. And I think, again, how fun would it be to do a randomizer wheel and just spin the wheel and see what other fights, like put Adam up against Shiva. Like, if Adam actually fought Shiva, Adam definitely would have fucking won. If Nikola Tesla fought fucking Hades or fought, you know, Apollo, things would have been fucking different. Like, there's so many fun possibilities. Rasputin versus Anubis, I think that's most likely what would happen, just because it seems like Sakata Kintoki does have a little bit of foreshadowing to fight Odin. And just based off of how much love the mangaka does give to the Japanese characters, it's most likely going to be Sakata Kintoki versus Odin, or Nostradamus versus Odin. That is a big point. Nostradamus is an important character. A Record of Ragnarok fan roster stream, maybe that could be fun. That could be fun. Record of Ragnarok does have plenty of content that could be done without a doubt. But like I said, I don't think my list could get any more definitive than this. Suchu Lane fights Ra? That's pretty dope, actually, in the spinoff. Thor versus Poseidon? Ah, that's tough, actually. I didn't know there was a Jack spinoff either. There's so many spinoffs for Record of Ragnarok, honestly. Already did that with Set the Sin. Check it out. I guess I'll have to. But yeah, the art in Record of Ragnarok is fucking amazing. So for all of the anime fans that were watching, I genuinely highly recommend that you read the manga. Just fucking read it. You deserve to treat yourself. That being said, are there any final thoughts that we have as an audience? We have went for about 2 hours, 15 minutes. We are entering wind down phase now. We have finished the tier list. I appreciate everyone that has made their presence known. Thank you for hitting that like button. If you haven't already, smash it now. Thank you so much for tuning in with me and just letting me just yap about all of these awesome fucking fights. I have not read Gakiakuta. No. I need to check that out. I did read the first chapter of The Martial King. That seems like it's going to be interesting. The new series by the creator of Dr. Stone. So that seems like it's going to be interesting. I definitely need something new to check out now that I've caught up to Record of Ragnarok. I was very happy to catch up to this series. I'm glad that I did, because a lot of the newer fights were great, and I ended up having a new appreciation for the old fights that I actually read through. I didn't think that I would, but starting from the very beginning and going from chapter 1 to 99 was worth it, in my honest opinion. You should do it. It's the same assistant as Fire Force and Soul Eater. Huh. It's by the assistant of Fire Force and Soul Eater. Centuria is really good too. I've heard Centuria is really good. The final round of God of Apocalypse, Suchu Lane versus Ahura Mazda. Tenkaichi's an alternate history tournament during the Sengoku GD. I'll have to check out Tenkaichi, because you did definitely bring that up. Has Yaisuke and Musashi Miyamoto in it. Hey, dope. Very dope. Am I missing JJK at all? Not really. I'm honestly glad that it's over. I do miss having like a weekly guaranteed series that's just guaranteed just fucking craziness every week. Kagurabachi, Sakamoto Days, and Dandadan and Chainsaw Man are great. They're fun, they're fire, they're always interesting to read, but like JJK really was revolutionary, and there just hasn't been a series that has replaced it yet in the level of hype. Kagurabachi gets close, but this just isn't there yet, just isn't there yet. I haven't found a replacement manga. I don't think the world has found a replacement manga, Think Record of Ragnarok will get an extra round. That would be great. Again, I'm not mad. The longer this series goes on, the better. The fights in this series are fun. JJK has had such a fall from grace for a lot of people. I kind of get it, but it's still wild. Yeah, no, it definitely, a lot of people act like, JJK like fell off and it's going to be forgotten to the time, and it just dropped and the ending was so bad. It's kind of like a Game of Thrones situation. But that's just not the case. I think there are a series that have ended way worse than Jujutsu Kaisen. I think par for the course, it's a whatever and manga ending. Most shonen and mangas don't have the most crystal clear greatest endings in the world. People hated Naruto when it ended. People hated Bleach when it ended. People said that Bleach is, ruined it and it's gonna go be forgotten, and Naruto's gonna be forgotten. It ruined its entire 700 chapter run. And what do you know? People still talk about Naruto. People still talk about Bleach. It's, Demon Slayer has been over for Demon Slayer's manga has been over for years. People still will tell you that Demon Slayer has no longevity. Sure, the anime is still going on, and the anime keeps it alive, but, there are still hardcore manga fans of Demon Slayer out there. They're far and far in between. They get far in between every day, but still. I think Jujutsu Kaisen will be fine. I think Jujutsu Kaisen will be fine. I think it will last very long in history. You don't become number one. You do not become number one in the world of anime and manga without, moving mountains. You really just don't. Why isn't JoJo Lands on Manga Plus? JoJo Lands is a monthly series, so I don't know what it gets published in, but I don't think it gets published in the weekly shonen magazines and stuff like that. It gets published in a seinen magazine. Pretty sure. Odin stronger than Zeus? I don't know about that. We'll have to see. Zeus is pretty dope, but Odin being a primordial god, I have to imagine Odin probably should be stronger than Zeus, right? Since I don't think Zeus is a primordial god, now that we've had those created. What's my favorite series of all time? Attack on Titan. Yes, sirs, I will be coming to Discord very soon. I'm probably going to end stream in like 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to see what's going on with my significant other and my doggos. But yeah, very soon. Give me a little bit. Heard Odin's a mage and Zeus is a brawler. That's probably much more likely. Odin does have that giant fucking spear of Gungnir. AOT ending is kind of mid. JJ, you just don't even get me started. I will lose my mind. I am so passionate. The ending is okay. The ending is okay. I'll give you that. The ending is all right. You know what? I'm getting triggered for no reason. The ending is meh. The ending is okay. But you know what? I think the story is amazing. 9.5 out of 10 series. 9.5 out of 10 series. Attack on Titan is the shit. I haven't watched One Piece. No. I went to go try to check out Day to Die. I couldn't find any of the art. But I'll have to look into it a little bit more later. I haven't been reading Blue Lock Weekly. No. What do I rate Frieren? Frieren's really good. I love Frieren. I would rate it like a high 8, maybe 9. I'd rate Frieren pretty high. I love Frieren. Frieren's such a great character story. The writing in Frieren is peak. No, I've seen One Piece before. It's not like I haven't seen One Piece before. I just don't really. I watched One Piece when I was younger. Didn't really fuck with it. Never went back and tried it. One Piece character designs just don't really hit for me personally. You're dumb if you put AOT over Frieren. I mean, that's definitely a take, but absolutely Delulu. Frieren's really good. Frieren's really good. But personally, I just fuck with Attack on Titan more. You know what it is? Attack on Titan themes hit more for me than Frieren does. That's really what it is. Frieren's an enjoyable read. I love reading it, and it's fun for me. But Attack on Titan hits more of what I enjoy in a story. Again, you're talking to someone that loves Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1. I love the political drama of Star Wars Episode 1. The sole reason why everyone hates the Phantom Menace is the exact reason why I like the Phantom Menace. So like, I don't know. I enjoy the political dramas. Is Buddha top 3? I don't know about that. Oh yeah, this guy's crazy. Listen, I'm a weird guy. I'm a weird dude. I like weird shit. Star Wars is indeed goated. What up, Plank? Happy to see you. Yeah. I genuinely, for a 99 chapter series, I had so much fun catching up to Record of Ragnarok. I might just have to check out the second series, the second season of the anime, I guess, because I didn't even watch it because I was so disappointed by the first season that I just didn't bother. But maybe I'll watch the second season and see how they did with Jack the Ripper, Hercules, Raiden, Shiva, and Buddha versus Zero Fuku. I'll have to say my piece. Buddha isn't even top 5. If I did a character tier list, Buddha would be up there. I don't know if Buddha would be top 5 in the series though. Last time I remember was the Tesla fight. Oh, you gotta catch up. You gotta catch up. Don't do it, bro. Just watch the fights on YouTube. JJK would be my number 1 if it had more filler. I can feel that. The CGI in Jack vs. Hercules can get wonky. Always got a cup of whiskey on deck. Hunter x Hunter doesn't. It's Friday, baby. We always got a cup of whiskey on Friday streams. Hunter x Hunter does indeed need to finish up. Going back on hiatus for Hunter x Hunter was sad. Having 10 chapters that were just like peak fiction, and then just going back to fucking nothing. What idiots asking for more filler in JJK? Someone that has experienced all of Jujutsu Kaisen and knows that we just need more. We just needed more. We just wanted more time. If I could get a side B story manga for Jujutsu Kaisen, I would lick Like I would as Denji would say, when Denji speaks the truth, the true. Denji speaks the true. When he says he would tongue Yoshida's butthole to save Yoshida, I understand that sentiment when it comes to give me a Jujutsu Kaisen B-side manga of just Jujutsu Kaisen side stories, and all of my money is yours. All of my money is yours for the foreseeable future until the end of the world. It's my favorite character in Record of Ragnarok. Okita Soji, maybe it was Jack the Ripper, but Okita Soji has clearly surpassed that for me. That's Aura Incarnate. Makes it hurt more. So like Gege fell into the trap of letting his characters write his story more than he would keep his story on track. After reading all of these interviews with Gege and understanding him, I fully wholeheartedly believe that he made mistakes in letting his characters dictate the story more than he himself did. It happens. It happens indeed. Personal Record of Ragnarok fight is round 3. I love the contrast between the characters. Listen, Sojiro versus Poseidon is a great fight. What an interesting question. What an interesting question, JJ. I'm not going to answer that. On that note, I hope he writes another story. He's very talented, and I'm sure his second one would be even better. Exactly. I have full, no doubt belief that Gege is going to kill it on his next run through. Could Sasaki take down Susanoo? I don't think so. I think Susanoo would beat Kojiro. I definitely think Susanoo would have won against Kojiro. Yuki never fighting alongside Todo was definitely something all right. Listen, I think Yuki and Todo should have at least had one interaction. How are you going to set up that mentorship, that connection, and then just not follow through with it? That was insane to me. That was insane to me. Let's see, Miwa's brothers. Miwa in the culling game, just amounting to nothing. Crazy. This Record of Ragnarok stream has derailed so crazily. But listen, I'll say it again. I loved this series. It was so much fun. I enjoyed catching up to it. The lowest points for me were definitely Zero Fuku versus Buddha. But definitely the lowest point was King Leonidas versus Apollo. And the highest points were Okita versus Susanoo, Jack the Ripper versus Hercules, and Zeus versus Adam for sure. Although Beelzebub and Nikola Tesla was a great close second, and then we got the other A's for sure. But this is my definitive list, without a doubt. I think the Chaos Vessel will be Hermes. That would be a wild fucking development. I'll have to read Record of Ragnarok, but I'm reading After God right now. Yeah, listen, I gotta find new reading material indeed, because I feel a hole in my heart and emptiness in my soul now that I don't have anything to read at night, now that I'm done catching up with Record of Ragnarok. But I'll move on and I'll find the next thing, and you know what? I will stream it and do another fucking tier list like this. But yeah, seriously, go read Record of Ragnarok if you haven't already, or watch the Netflix anime if you don't want to read manga. I loved it. I'll definitely be doing more streams about it. I'll do a randomizer wheel stream for sure. I might do a character tier list for sure. What anime this season do you think I should watch? Watch Sakamoto Days or Solo Leveling. Sakamoto Days is peak fiction. I love Sakamoto Days. The anime is so much fun and is doing a great job. I think the animation could be better for, again, a manga that has such amazing art. But Sakamoto Days is fucking peak. Watch Sakamoto Days if you have not already. And if you just want something dumb that you can turn on, turn your brain off, and just watch some overpowered main character just get even more overpowered constantly and just get into some fun fights, Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is such a fun series. I love Solo Leveling. I highly recommend it, but Sakamoto Days specifically for the story. Solo Leveling is just more hype, fun to watch, and fun to watch Sung Jin Woo fucking fuck people up. Sakamoto Days is genuinely just a really good series, really good story, great characters, fun overall. How far does Frieren get in JJK? I get that question often in the community, and generally I was always scared to make a how far does Frieren get in JJK video, but if that's what the people want, maybe I'll have to look into it. Frieren is a weird character to power scale, and people also get very, very butthurt when you power scale Frieren. It's kind of similar to Hunter x Hunter, where people are like, this series was never meant to be power scaled. It's all up to imagination and tactics, and every character might be, it's like rock, paper, scissors. You can't power scale, and it's like you can still power scale series like Hunter x Hunter and Frieren. You just have to be a lot more, it's just a lot more complex. There are more things to consider. You consider a character's abilities, everything like that, as opposed to this character is stronger than this character because A, B, and C. It's just a different discussion. It's just a different discussion. You can power scale literally whatever fucking series you want. You just can, right? The only people that say that are people that you just don't like power scaling in general. But without getting on a tangent, guys, thank you all so much for joining me on this awesome and fun stream. I really enjoyed reading Record of Ragnarok, and I'm glad that you guys were all able to join in the fun with me, and just listen to me yap about these fights and what I liked and didn't like about these fights. And I hope that when the series is over, however many fights there are left, whether there's only 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, who knows, maybe I'll do another follow-up tier list and see how it all holds up. But until then, guys, I sincerely do appreciate you guys all popping in, whether you just popped in recently or you popped in the very beginning. You're all beautiful people. I'm gonna send you that spirit bomb energy, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night. Absolutely love you. Make sure you kill it in every sense of the word. Do well in your life. And I'll see you guys in the fucking next one, right? What is today? Fucking Friday? It's Friday night, baby. Friday night, afternoon, morning. Fucking just live and let live, buddy. Drink some Jameson, or don't drink some Jameson. Just do whatever the fuck makes you happy, right? That's what it's all about. But anyway, I'm done. I'm done yapping. Thank you guys for giving me a platform to just fucking get my shit out. And guys, I will see you all in the next stream. We'll probably go back to JJK Phantom Parade next time. But until then, I'll see you guys. Also, if you haven't already, quick little fucking plug here, quick little, shill. Please go subscribe to the second channel if you have not already. If you want to see, weekly reviews on, Chainsaw Man, Don, fucking Sakamoto Days, Kagurabachi, go subscribe to the second channel. It would mean the world to me, and that's where you get almost daily content. We do indeed have a Discord for the community. It is members only, but it only costs $1 to be a member. So if you feel comfortable, buying me a coffee and also getting access to the community, please feel free to join. You get an instant access to the invite link for the Discord. If not, I understand. I know it's asking a lot, but genuinely still, I do appreciate all of you guys, whether you are a paying member or you are just a lurking supporter that never types in chat. You are all important to me. You all mean the world to me. I wouldn't be able to do this without you. And I'll see you guys in the fucking next one, guys. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you. Peace.